Namah Shivaya family, and greetings from Lake Lanier. I would like to just offer you a short little video today focusing on the feet. And so find yourself in a comfortable seated position. If you need to elevate to get your hips up higher than your knees so that your hip flexors let go, please do that. And sometimes it's nice if you have a block to sit up on a block, if that helps you, or a cushion, whatever it is that accommodates your body in the sweetest way. I encourage you to do that. And then you're going to take the palm of the opposite hand to a foot. So right hand to left foot, and sit however it is you need to. You can even have your back to a wall in whatever way is most accessible to bring a foot into a hand. Palm of the hand to the sole of the foot, and then interlace your fingers all the way, the base of the hand to the base of the foot. And sometimes you got to wiggle your way in a little bit, right? So create some space, and then the hand that's not interlaced with the toes, I like to use that hand to hold the foot steady, and then just start to yoke the toes out of the foot. Just kind of like, I don't know, maybe you were milking a cow or something. You're just yoking. The truest definition, one of the truest definitions I've heard of yoga, is to yoke. And so this is yoga, coming into union with where the toes meet the feet and yoking a little bit of space at that juncture. And just continue to then wiggle and writhe. I really encourage all of my students to do this every day, perhaps a couple times a day. Whenever you find yourself just idly sitting, just interlace fingers and toes and give it a wiggle. And then once you have pulled your toes up away from the base of your foot, then get your fingertips at the very top of the foot, kind of like in this valley where the foot and the toes meet, and you just gently pull your toes back towards your shin. Just pushing through the pads of the fingers that are down in that valley, giving a little wiggle in there. I once heard that there was a good bit of lymph mischief that settles into that place. So if it's a little bit tender, just continue the detoxification experience. Right, and we wiggle in there and we pull those toes away from the base, and then a last little bit in the original direction of pulling the toes back towards the heel. A little bit of side to side, lateral movement. And then something that is very loving to do for your digits. And I was actually taught this when caring for someone that I loved who was suffering from lymphedema. You take your thumb and your index finger and you pull from the base of your toe out through the tip, right? And then you use that same thumb and index and you come to the first toe. And then when you get to the next toe, you use your middle finger and the thumb and just pull a little bit away, right? Clearing the channel, so to speak. Then you take your ring finger and your thumb into the ring finger pinky toe, so to speak, and you pull, as if just clearing any mischief out of the channel. And then lastly, the pinky finger to the thumb, and get your pinky toe in between those two and pull. Right? The last little bit of clearing the channel. And then we just sweep it out, so to speak, just sending all the riffraff out through the toes, tips of the toes. And then this is a healing touch technique. You take the palm of your right hand to the sole of your left foot, and the palm of your left hand to the top of your left foot, as if you were closing your feet within the palms of your hands, meeting one another, sealing off the energy. And this is a very grounding technique. And we're in some pretty flighty times right now, and the winds of spring are really flowing and blowing, and our lives might feel the same way. Like sometimes we're in the flow, but maybe sometimes we're in the blow, right? So ground down. So just hold this, and then if you have a favorite little mantra or a prayer that you like, that is empowering to you, then you just bow for a moment and offer that perhaps 3 times. Just closing the eyes and bringing your awareness into the soles of your feet, and let this be an offering, you know? And maybe it is a prayer of grounding. I am grounded. I am safe. I am a part of the earth. I am grounded. I am safe. I am a part of the earth. I am grounded. I am safe. I am a part of the earth. And then release that foot. Pause. Just take a moment to notice. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Let the 2 legs go long out in front of you. And I apologize for having my feet in your direction. In the tradition of yoga, or perhaps in ancient India, in the Hindu tradition, whatever, in the teacher-disciple tradition, you don't put your feet in the direction of your teacher. And you are all my teachers, so please forgive me. And as you let your feet go out in front of you, stand on an imaginary wall in front of you. I like to have the fingertips a little bit back behind to encourage the length of the spine. Again, you can be doing this against a wall. And you're standing on an imaginary wall in front of you, and then just fist and fan your toes. Fist and fan. And squeeze and fan. So you're just squeezing and releasing your feet, right? Fist, 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 squeeze and hold, squeeze and hold, squeeze and hold, squeeze, 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 squeeze. If there's an unruly soldier, put it in the pack. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your toes, not your face. And then fan. Fan your feet. 26 bones in your feet. Sometimes it helps to fan the 26 bones in your hands at the same time. Create some space. If you can, inside edges of the feet, still parallel to one another, open up some space. Pull your pinky toe away from your big toe. Fan it, fan it, fan it. Spread them. See if there's a little codependency that you want to break up a little bit. Create some space. And then release the intensity of that. And then come back into a comfortable position for second side. So now we're going to take the sole of the right foot and the palm of the left hand. And we're going to interlace. And I use my hand to pull my toes apart so that I can work my massaging hand in between. And then the hand that's not massaging, I steady the foot with so I can really have some stability as I work on the mobility. All right? So get in there and then start to milk your toes away from your foot. Whatever your comfortable position is that allows you access, no worry how it looks. Keep yoking your toes away from their base. Create some space in the joint. And then after several times of pulling the tips of your toes back towards your heel, then you get your fingertips of your massage hand right there in the valley, just before the toes meet the foot, and you pull gently the toes back towards the shin, or push. Now we're creating space in what's known as the belly of the toes, the underside of the toes. Wiggle, writhe. And again, feel for any mischief there may be in that lymph dump. Just move it around. And then a last little bit of pulling the toes back towards the heel, the tips of the toes towards the heel. Last little bit of wiggling between the digits, creating some space. And then we do this gentle modification of clearing the channels. Index finger and thumb, catch the big toe, and clear it out. Just pulling mischief out. And then use those same fingers and get in to the index toe, so to speak. And then middle finger to thumb, getting into the middle toe. ring finger and thumb, getting into the ring finger toe. And then lastly, we get into the pinky. Clear that little piggy pig pig. And then clear the feet all together as best you can, just sweeping mischief out. The seen, the unseen, the known, the unknown, no matter. Just our intention is one of clearing the portal of our feet. And then the palm of the hands get on either side of the foot. The fingers facing the same direction as the toes. And we just cradle our foot in between our hands, bow our head as if bowing in gratitude to our feet, and perhaps saying your mantra, your prayer of gratitude. And again, if you're feeling the need to ground, let there be an offering in that direction. I am grounded. I am safe. I am a part of the earth. And then set your prayer free. May it be so. And here we go. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. So let your legs go long. Stand on the imaginary wall in front of you. And squeeze your toes into a fist. And fan. And fist. And fan. Squeeze and hold, squeeze and hold, squeeze and hold. And fan and spread. Inside edges of the feet parallel to one another as best you can, staying on the center strike of your heel. And soften. Then keep your knees steady, perhaps resting a hand on your knees, and just circle your ankles. Stability, mobility. Isolating out the ankle joint. Turn the other direction. Just circle your ankles in the other direction. Stability in the knee. Try not to let the legs move, the knees move. And then point through one, flex through the other. Point and flex, and point and flex. Just pedal in place a little bit. And then stand on the center strike of both feet. Take the outside edges of your feet to the midline. So lengthening out through the lateral ankle, really bringing the outside edges of your feet to touch, as if. And then lengthening out through the inside strikes of your feet, drawing back through the outside edges. And release. Shake it off. Pause. Close your eyes for a moment and feel your feet. Feel perhaps a little bit more energy, a little bit more life, a little more blood flow. Participate in that with a big breath. Exhale, let it go. And then from here, we're going to come up onto our knees. And please forgive me for turning my back to you. As you come up onto your knees, you're going to curl your toes under. And as you curl your toes under, the inside edges of the feet stay parallel to one another. You try not to let them flare open, and you sit back into broken toe asana. Okay? So your toes are curled under, and you're getting a nice stretch in the belly of the toes. Okay? Toes are curled under, inside edges of the feet parallel to one another, and the heels are pulling towards the midline. This is where if you have blocks or something that you can put underneath you so you don't have to bear your entire weight because it's a bit much, you get the support that you need. Alright? And then you just soften the belly of your feet. I know it's kind of like asking you to lay down in traffic and relax. I know this. I feel it too. Alright, last little bit of just soften the belly of your toes, soften the belly of your feet, keep pulling the heels towards one another, and then you come forward. As you come forward, you uncurl your toes. Once again, forgive me for turning my back to you. I just want to show you. You uncurl your toes, and you simply sit on your heels with the inside edges of the feet parallel to one another, sitting on your heels. For those of you who have a strap, you will take your strap, Slide it underneath your shins to the very tops of your ankles. Cross your strap. Pull the opposite edges towards one another to bring your heels together. So you pull the opposite edges away from each other, sit down. And you can keep pulling, but you're sitting on your heels with your sitting bones. Okay? Lean back. And you're just doing this with the strap to work your heels towards one another. If you don't have a strap, just feel your heels pulling towards one another. And now we're in the foot flexor. And we're lengthening out that foot flexor for a last breath or two. And then you're simply going to come forward, curl your toes back under, and sit back in toe curls. As you get back in toe curls, really feel that the inside edges of your feet are parallel to one another. Your heels all the way to your big toe. Your toes are curled under, and you're just softening in the belly of the toes, softening in the plantar fascia, while getting whatever support that you may need beneath you so you're not bearing too much weight, right? So you want this to be manageable, but totally engaging, right? All right, lean back if you can. Soften, soften, soften. Make sure your pinky toe is curled up and under and it's not on its own wild ride. Pull the heels towards each other. Last little bit, no feeling is final. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Soften, soften, soften your feet. And then shift your weight forward. Uncurl your toes and let the tops of your feet go flat. Once again, using your strap to pull the opposite tails away from each other to pull your heels together, or just sitting back and pulling your heels towards one another. Lean back. Maybe a little stretch in the quadriceps as well as the front foot flexor getting a little longer. Heart high, shoulders low. It's not a tension relocation program. Last little bit. And then shift your weight forward. Release. From here, if you can, cross your ankles. Sit back over your heels and let your legs go out in front of you. As your legs go out in front of you, your arms go long behind you. And once again, heart high, shoulders low. Fist and fan those toes. Fist and fan. Fist and fan. And then let there be a little distance between your feet. Steady your knees. Circle the ankles. Several times in each direction. Let that go. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Then we come into a gentle diamond pose. The outside edges of the feet are kissing. The inside edges open up like a book. We allow the inner thigh to roll to the outer. Maybe take your hands on the outer knees. Shoulders down, heart high. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, take a bow to your feet. Forehead bowing to or towards the soles of your feet. Arms in whatever position. Encourage you to take this prostration to your feet. Head bows. And we just drop into the depths of our gratitude for these feet, for every step they've taken. Several breaths here, just penetrating the gratitude of your depth for your feet and this journey. Deep breath in, deepest breath out. Hands slide on to your inner knees, chin into the chest, slowly roll up bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders roll up, back, and down, head's the last to rise. Pause comfortably at the top. then from here, I encourage you to work your way up into Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall pose, or perhaps you rest your calves on an ottoman or on the couch. Just get your feet up higher than your heart. And if you can take them all the way up the wall, super fantastic. But let them be our guest of honor. And so take all the time you need to settle into some type of comfortable way of putting your feet in the sky, putting your head and heart on the earth. So find that inversion and set yourself up in supreme comfort within that inversion. And then once you've tucked yourselves in, I encourage you to stay here for at least 10, if not 20 or 30 minutes, and just allow your awareness to rest on the beating of your heart, the rhythmic flow of your breath, and the gratitude for your feet. Just slow down. See if you can even pause in absolute stillness and silence. Drop into yourselves. Enjoy. And I offer you the closing prayer. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Victory to the light within each and every one of us. May we be good. May we do good. May we love all. May we serve all. Namaste.